Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm doing another test out of a product. Yesterday I was at Target and I found this new foundation, or probably newer foundation, that Nyx came out with that I haven't used yet, and I'm really excited. It's called the Born to Glow Naturally Radiant Foundation. It looks like this, and it's about 1 fluid ounce, and so that's pretty average for foundations. I'm so excited to try it. It's supposed to give off a dewier finish versus the Glamouflage that I tried last week. It was definitely more of like a matte, just kind of like poreless, this isn't really my skin kind of foundation. It's definitely like a lot more boom coverage. So I'm really excited to try this out. With my skin being so dry, I think having a little bit of moisture or that glowy, dewy effect will add a really nice touch to my makeup looks. And as you know, today I'm going to be using a sponge and a brush on either side of my face just to see how it works with both. So I'm kind of excited. I haven't opened this, so this is first impressions that I get to do this with you. So let's see. When you open it, it's just a twist off lid and the squeezy bottle, but there's like this little tab, I'm assuming for hygienic reasons. Because in the store they don't have testers out anymore because of the virus. I have no idea if this is the right shade for me, and if it's not, that's gonna be super embarrassing, but we're gonna ignore that. I always like to shake my foundation before I put it on, just so that way I can avoid any kind of clumping, or like when there's that weird kind of liquidy stuff that sometimes builds at the top of foundations. It's pretty normal, but I'm just gonna surpass that. So I'm gonna just put my hair back. Sorry if I look really gross for a minute. I promise when my whole outfit's together, it will look nice. For a base, I am going to use this little palette thing that I have, just that I can tap on. Okay, so far it looks super creamy. I don't know if you can see, but it's like kind of like a thicker consistency, which I wasn't expecting. Normally, like with this kind of stuff, it isn't that way. Oh, I almost forgot to prime. For primers, I'm just gonna use the normal ones that I use, just because I don't want to change any of like the variables. That will help me know if it's the foundation that like works or a different primer. Plus, with dewier foundations, I always like to use still a mattifying primer, or like one of those super stronghold primers, just because my skin sometimes like it's oily, so I want the look of the, the glowy dewiness without necessarily the oil that comes sometimes when you have like oily skin. But it might be different now that I'm on Accutane. Full C. Okay, so I'm gonna use a beauty blender, or I guess my Real Technique sponge on this side, and I'll use the brush for the other side, and we'll see how this goes. So far, the shade seems to be working out really well. Like, that was a really good choice for me. So, props to that. I seem to have this weird dry patch of just like skin that's kind of grabbing onto weirdly. I don't know how I feel about that. hopefully we can get that to smooth out because it's not looking super good. The consistency is definitely really creamy, so that's nice. I bet it's gonna feel really light on the skin because it's not super thick and paste-like. It's more smooth. Okay. So far the coverage doesn't seem to be crazy amazing. I do have some acne spots or a little bit of breaking out, and it's not covering them super well, so it might be a lighter, more natural coverage, which isn't a bad thing. That can be really nice for those more dewy days. I don't know how I feel about this so far. It seems to grab weirdly. Is that what I'm trying to say? I am going to go ahead and try it on the other side. Just to see how it applies with a brush. I have a feeling it might not apply super well with the brush, so we will see how it goes. I'm also planning on wearing an under eye concealer today, so we'll see how things layer, or product layers on top of it. Okay. So part of me feels like it makes my skin texture stand out a little bit more, but that might just be because it is a dewier foundation, which typically those kind of foundations do that. But we'll see how putting a setting powder and then letting the dewy finish kind of peek through that setting powder helps with that. It's definitely very dewy, so that's fun. Just gonna do a little bit of touching up just to make sure we are as smooth as possible. Okay. Okay, so some notes that I'm getting from this so far is that as you tap with the Beauty Blender, it's almost like you're going to blend it in, but instead of blending it in, it like taps away the foundation. And it leaves this like patch of missing foundation, which to me that's kind of weird and it shouldn't normally do that. But I guess we'll see. I'm just gonna put a little bit of concealer on underneath the eye. A little bit here, a little bit here. And we'll see how it blends. I'm almost worried that it won't work as well with other products. That's kind of what I'm sensing right now. But maybe it just needs a second to set in before we can jump to that conclusion. But we will see. I mean, so far it's a really pretty finish. I don't normally wear dewy finishes just because of my oily skin. It has never looked good. It just always makes it look even more oily. And I just turned into this overly oily person. But let's see. Okay, so far it's blending out really nicely with the concealer. This concealer is a really awesome full coverage concealer. It's the Tarte Shape Tape. I adore it. I've been using it for years. I remember when it first came out and all the beauty gurus and YouTubers and stuff all went nuts over it. And so as a teenager, I had to go get it and try it. As a teenager, I literally spent so much money on makeup. It was insane. That's where all my money went. Okay, so far I really actually like the finish with the concealer. It doesn't make my eyes look so greasy, but I really don't like what it's doing to the nose. That's really strange to me. It will like I said, it would pick it up and then kind of leave this weird spot of no makeup. And I don't know if I like that. And for my powder, I'm using the Milani setting powder. I posted about it on my Instagram during one of my product props, which are now on Thursdays. So you can go see how I like it. I don't want to do too much powder because, like I said, I don't want to take away from the dewy, but it'll probably peek back out. I would say the only part that I'm like not super happy with is that weird patching. The coverage isn't a ton, so it's not the most full coverage foundation. It did cover my redness really well, which I'm really grateful for just because I have very pale skin, so that redness really comes out a lot. I'm going to go ahead and set my concealer with like a little bit of baking. So it really stays on. And for my concealer on my under eye bake, I love using the Maybelline Shine Free Loose Powder. It has more of a yellow tint, which is really nice for canceling out any kind of pigmentation that you don't want. And it holds the bake really well, and I can just douse it on. And so it makes for a really good bake. For contour, I always, you know me, I always use my Shade and Light. One of these days I'll try a different palette. For a really long time, I would always use the Lorac Pro, one of their contour palettes. But I got converted to the Kat Von D. It just seems to always work super well for me. So I'm like, well, why fix what isn't broken? But I'll have to go on the website to see if there's anything else that is supposed to be a close competitor or anything like that. So I'm so curious to see, I'm dropping things, how this foundation layers with contour on the face, because my face feels pretty sticky, I'm not gonna lie. it feels pretty sticky. And so it kind of worries me to layer powder on top. I'm gonna try putting a little bit more powder to see if I can get rid of that stickiness, at least while I blend. I'm just worried it's gonna create patchiness, but we will see. Let's see. Also, my hair is totally falling out. I had it in a ponytail or like a bun thing while I was in the shower because I didn't want to get it wet for when I curled it. Okay, let's try this out. Okay, with a light hand, it seems to be doing pretty well. It doesn't get too patchy or anything like that. Okay, I think you just have to use a light hand, so that way you don't over contour. I still feel like there's this weird, it's like this one area of my face where the foundation just like did not blend super well. So I don't super love that. It's just like there's these weird patches where the foundation just, it didn't grab or it over grabbed. And I'm not living for that. Okay, so it took the contour pretty well. I don't notice significant issues that I have with it, but I'll have to see how it wears throughout the day and see if it gets bunchy or not. Gotta put on that bronzer. Oh, I forgot to mention the price range of this. So I got it at Target, which typically Target has things be a little bit more expensive than Walmart, even if it's the same brand. And so our price point is around $10, and that's including tax. I don't remember exactly how much I paid, but it was about that much. So it's not too bad for an ounce of product. That's pretty average. Granted, my Glamouflage, which is my favorite, my ride or die right now, that retails for about $6. So there's about a $4 price difference. But NYX tends to come out with really good products. I'm really impressed with their cosmetics for being at the price point that they are, which is really nice. Okay. So far, everything layered really nicely. I don't love how it made my nose look. Still, that kind of is bothering me a little bit. But so far, powder is laying on top really nicely. You can't really ask for anything too specific with that. And for my bronzer, I use the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. in the deep color. I really love these bronzers. They apply beautifully and they're super smooth, and I love them. They're awesome. And for my blush shade, I'm gonna be going in the shade Desert from my Tarte Clay Play Volume 2 palette. I love this blush. I just feel like it's so perfect for my skin tone. And in the past, I always used the Milani blushes that looked like flowers. But this one it gets me. It just works super well with my skin. Okay, so far the powders are laying really nicely. I hope they wear nicely too, but I guess we'll see about that. I'm going to go ahead and continue on with the rest of my makeup, and I will be back when I'm all ready, and I will kind of go over some things again before I start doing check-ins throughout the day. I'll be right back. Hello. Okay, so I am back. Here's the finished makeup look. I decided to go for more of a glam today with the Dewy Finish foundation. As far as the finished result so far, I think it looks good. I did notice some issues as I was trying to put on my eyebrows. I had my little spoolie out, and it was almost like the foundation was just like scratching off, and I still had issues with like the patchiness. So I wasn't a huge fan of that, but I'm gonna continue to wear it throughout the rest of this day. I'm not really sure what I have planned. I know I have work after school and some clients this afternoon. So we'll see how it goes, but I will be back to be checked on. As far as my makeup look, I use the Modern Renaissance palette with also one shade, the Ember shade from the Clay Play. They're my favorite palettes to kind of just like carry around. I really like them, and I'm wearing a lip gloss, but I think it's from Bare Minerals. But I can link those in the description. And yeah, so I will keep you updated with how this is looking. But from a close-up, let's see, you can kind of see what it looks like. So far it's not bad. So we'll continue to see what it looks like throughout the day. Anyways, have a great day. I will be back. Hello everyone. Okay, so it has been a few hours now. Let's see, I put it on at like 9 o'clock and it is now almost 5. So it's been a while. So far it's looking good. Let me check the mirror. I just got done with a lash client, so I literally don't know what I look like right now. But I would say it's actually holding up really well. A lot better than I thought it would. It doesn't have a super dewy finish, but I would say it still looks really good, and it looks a lot more of a natural finish, I guess, compared to like a normal matte foundation. But it has been a good amount of time. But I will continue to do checkups throughout the rest of this night. I still have a lot going on. It's a Saturday, so I will let you know. Anyways, see you soon. Hello. Okay, so finishing up my video. I did not get to take more videos, and I am so sorry for that. Saturdays are so insanely busy for me just because, you know, I have school all day, and then I have work, and then usually I hang out with friends afterwards, and so it kind of got a little bit crazy. And I'm sorry, this isn't the most formal setup, but this is what we get to deal with. Anyways, so as far as final thoughts, I actually ended up really liking the foundation. It held up really well. It wasn't as dewy as I thought it was going to be. I think putting the setting powders on kind of just completely took that away. But it held up really well. It wore really well. Next time I want to try using a more dewy primer instead of just my normal matte primer and see if that helps. But at the same time, I don't like it when it slips around and that kind of thing. But I've worn it a few times since, and so far I really like it. And as my skin gets clearer, I'm sure it'll be a better match. But other than that, those are my final thoughts. I think I do approve it. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.